thank you all for joining us today as the WCB celebrates its 100th anniversary. It was 100 years ago on this very day that 14 staff members started working at the Workers' Compensation Board. A commissioner, an auditor, medical officers, clerks, stenographers gathered in the Paris building to set up the workers' compensation system that would shape our province and our city for many generations. Workers' compensation was the first social system adopted in Canada, and it was based on a report by Sir William Meredith, who was a judge and a lawyer, and the principles behind that report formed the basis for the establishment of workers' compensation systems throughout our country and in Manitoba, including the basic principles of no-fault compensation, security of benefits, collective liability, an independent administration that is separate and apart from government, and exclusive jurisdiction. And the WCB would be the only entity that could provide workers compensation and insurance benefits.
My name is John W. Wilton, but many folks called me Fighting Jack. I served as an MLA in Manitoba from 1915 to 1920. And one of my proudest moments during those 5 years was introducing the Workers' Compensation Act into legislature in 1916. Now back then, there weren't a lot of options open to people who couldn't return to work after an injury. My bill presented the framework for an employer-funded compensation system for work-related injury and illness. In exchange, employers were protected against lawsuit from workers in such occurrences. The 15th Manitoba legislature passed the bill on March the 7th, 1916, and that act has remained in place to this very day.
Clearly, the Workers' Compensation Act is a historic compromise between employers and workers. It's a compromise that has withstood the test of time. In fact, today's workers' compensation system in Manitoba is still guided by the same principles that were outlined in the very first act back in 1916. Programs like Return to Work, Safe Work Manitoba, and even the Appeal Commission did not exist back in September 1916. But they've been an important part of the Workers' Compensation Board's growth and progress in Manitoba.
My dad was frozen March 23rd, 1926. His frostbite was irreversible. As gangrene took hold, Dad was taken to hospital in Portage-la-Prairie. With his life in the balance, Dad's only chance was to lose major parts of both his legs and his hands. In July 1953, Dad became the first rehabilitation officer at the Workers' Compensation Board, moving into what you now call Return to Work.
So to cap off the celebrations, I'd like to invite Winston Maharaj, President and CEO of the WCB, Mr. Werrier and Minister Cullen to unveil an honorary street sign in recognition of this momentous occasion.